Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillahi amma ba'du. First of all, for those of you who are here remaining in the masjid after the dars that was just given, praying Salat al-Asr, and then the daily dars that's given in the blessed month of Ramadan. This is not a class right now, but this is something that we're taking this time to do to address an issue. So you can feel free to get up and to leave at any time. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for the shortness of the days of Ramadan, and if it wasn't for the fact that all of us are struggling with time, I would have done this at another time where there was no one from the Ammat al-Nas. But Ramadan, the days are short, and the ibadat, the muzdahima, we are trying to get as much ibadat in as possible. So I want to present this ibadah, inshallah. So let me make this perfectly clear from the very beginning that this is not a refutation. And I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal to keep my niyyah khalisa to Him and for Him. And that I have the adab and the etiquette of it not being a refutation or personal attack or personal defense. This is not a clarification, and nor is it a retraction. This is nasiha in the month of Ramadan. Ad-deenun nasiha, as the Nabi said, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. For those students of knowledge, that hadith of Tamim al-Dari, ad-deenun nasiha, has been collected by Imam Muslim. And Imam al-Nawawi mentioned just one time ad-deenun nasiha, because in the Sahih of al-Imam Muslim it comes one time. But in the book of al-Imam Abu Awana rahimahullahu ta'ala, he brought the narration in which the Nabi said it 3 times, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that hadith is from the usul of the religion, and that he made the whole deen of Allah Azza wa Jal given nasiha. Again, this is nasiha. Nasiha to my brother in Islam, Abu Khadeejah Abdul Wahid from Salafi Publications, there on Wright Street here in Birmingham. Nasiha to him and those people who are with him, from the people who are in charge of that place and the people who are upon the path that they are upon. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve us and preserve them, forgive us and forgive them. This, ikhwani, is the 6th day of Ramadan al-Mubarak. The Nabi said about Ramadan, as you all know, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِذَا جَاءَ رَمَضَانَ فُتِحَتْ أَبْوَابُ الْجَنَّةِ وَغُلِّقَتْ أَبْوَابُ النَّارِ وَصُفِّدَتْ الشَّيَاطِينَ. If Ramadan comes, the first day of Ramadan, the doors of Al-Jannah are open. Many opportunities to try to get to Jannah, ya Abdullah. And the doors of the hellfire are closed. The good person goes into the hellfire because he wants to break the door down. He wants to force the door of the knot of Jahannam open in the month of Ramadan. Naturally, our spirit should be inclined to doing good deeds. Not swearing, not cursing, not fasting. It's not from the adab of fasting to be fighting. The Nabi told us, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, فَإِن سَابَكَ أَحَدٌ فَقُلْ إِنِّي صَائِمٌ إِنِّي صَائِمٌ. If someone argues with you and they want to fight you, tell them, I'm fasting, I'm fasting. It is not from the etiquette of Ramadan to be fighting with your wife, with your brother, and so forth and so on. He said, and the shayateen are tied up in the month of Ramadan. There's still fitna and fasad and evil going on in the earth. Our brothers from Burma are being oppressed right now. Our brothers in Somalia are going through a lot of trials and tribulations that came as a result of what the shayateen of the ins and the jinn created. Our brothers in Palestine, Kashmir, all over the place. Our brothers in Syria, problems all over the place. So there's still shayateen. Some of the scholars said the meaning of the shayateen being tied up is that the marada from the shayateen, as the Nabi said, they're the ones who are tied up, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The really, really bad shayateen. The real bad ones, they're the ones who are tied up. But there's still shayateen. You have shaitan, I have a shaitan. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us to defeat our shayateen in the month of Ramadan and after. So the spirit of Ramadan is not the spirit to fight. This is nasiha. And for you brothers who are here, if you see me getting excited, if you see me raising my voice, then all I want you to do, Anik, Yusuf, and the rest of you brothers, is to do like this, because it's not to fight anybody. It's nasiha to our brother. Yesterday, last night, after praying Taraweeh, and you know in Green Lane Masjid, we have 2 reciters of the Quran. We finish making salat probably later than any other masjid in this city. We take our time, we finish a juz, and we get home about 1 o'clock, 1:30. I got home, and I saw that someone put up on the YouTube an incident that happened in Green Lane. The people who put it up are a group of people in London, Shepherd's Bush. They call themselves Dar Sunnah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala establish us and them on the Sunnah and cause us to live in the Dar of the Jannah Yawmul Qiyamah. These brothers, they are a satellite community of Salafi publications, Right Street. They're on the same page, on the same MANHAJ. I gave a translation in Green Lane of a Sheikh, Adnan Abdul Qadir from Kuwait, Hafidhahullah Ta'ala, the last time that he came here. And he gave a number of lectures. And one of the lectures that he gave, he talked about how he became a student of knowledge and how he became multazim and mustaqim on the deen of Allah. May Allah give us all at his istiqamah. I was the translator and the sheikh was the speaker. So in that particular talk, which was about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, he said that he started off studying with the Sheikh Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq, Shafahullah wa Hafidhahullah. And he also mentioned the Sheikh Abdullah As-Sabt from Kuwait, Hafidhahullah. These 2 individuals had a lot to do with establishing a Salafiyyah in Kuwait and spreading a Salafiyyah in Kuwait and helping many Muslims all over the globe. That is a fact. But there are some people who have refuted them. So these brothers from London, Dar Sunnah, they put on the YouTube last night, yesterday, Abu Usamah and Green Lane supporting the innovators, meaning Abdullah Sept and Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq. That was the title of the YouTube thing. I was the translator. So as a result of that, some of the people who have intellect, some of the people who are just, who saw that, they commented and they said things like, are you sure that Abu Usamah is saying these things? He's a translator. Other people typed in, this is not fair what you're doing. And the guy who put it on, the brother who put it on, was fighting them and they were going back and forth. But anyone who had aql can see what was happening wasn't fair. So they disabled all of the comments. They took off all of the comments. Because anyone who would come with an aql and he sees that, they're going to say, how can you accuse Green Lane and Abu Usamah of saying that? And I want to bring this to your attention, Ikhwani, because this is a corrupt manhaj. There's something that some non-Muslims came up with, a principle called 6 degrees of separation. 6 degrees of separation, it means for every 6 people that you know, you're connected to somebody else. If someone comes and says, do you know Bill Gates? That rich man from India, the richest man in the world. Do you know him? We're going to say we know of him. I think his name is Matal or something like that. We're going to say we know of him. I don't know him. But with this concept, 6 degrees of separation, what it means is you know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows this man directly. Although the world is big, nonetheless, it's a global village. So he knows someone who went to the university, who knows someone who went to America, who knows someone who's working for his company, who knows someone who drives Bill Gates around in the car. He's a chauffeur, or he is his security guard. So everyone knows someone else through 6 people. This is not a principle that is consistent with Al-Islam. Why do I mention that? Unfortunately, we have some people claiming Salafiyyah who will make you guilty of things using this principle. Using this principle. You go to Masjid Green Lane, they're innovators, so you're an innovator. You know someone who knows someone who knows someone who put this microphone in Green Lane. He's an innovator. And you see these types of rules being applied to people, and it's not fair, and it's not just, and it's not scholastic. What does Abu Usamah have to do with what a Sheikh Adnan Abdul Qadir said? What does Green Lane Masjid have to do with what a Sheikh Adnan Abdul Qadir said? It was him telling his story. That's what happened. So why do you say that I translated the kalam, or I was the one who was praising a person of innovation, a Sheikh Abdullah Sabt and a Sheikh Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq? This is not fairness and it's not justice. And Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned too many ayat in the month of Ramadan. Quran was revealed. And we encourage the people to read the Quran in the month of Ramadan. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kunu qawwamina bil qista shuhada'a lillahi walau ala anfusikum aw al walidain aw al aqrabin. Oh, you who believe, stand up for justice for Allah with ikhlas, a tawheed. Stand up for Allah, to Allah, not your group, not your madhab, not your honor, for Allah, for the truth. Even if it's against yourself, against your parents, or against the closest people to you. وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ عَلَىٰ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا اعْدِلُوا هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. Don't let a people's oppression towards you make you oppressive. But be fair, be just. That's closer to taqwa. The Quran, Allah Ta'ala mentioned, وَتَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ صِدْقًا وَعَدْلًا. The words of your Lord, this Quran, this religion, it has been completed in truthfulness and in justice. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah said in the Hadith al-Qudsi, Ya ibadi inni haramtu al-dhulma ala al-nafsi wa ja'altuhu baynakum muharrama fala tadhalamu. Don't oppress one another like that. Addil amana ila man i'tamanaka wa la takhun man khanak. Someone gave you a trust, give it back to him. If he broke the trust, your trust, don't you be untrustworthy because he broke your trust. So the point is, our dawah, our deen is Salafiyyah, is a deen of justice. It's not a deen of oppression like this. Abu Usamah, he translated, so therefore it's his kalam. It was hosted in the venue of Green Lane Masjid. As a result of that, everybody in Green Lane is responsible for that. One of the problems with the people in this neighborhood, in this city, who are falling into a takfir, is that they do this lawazim. They say things like, the ulama of Islam, they don't talk against the hukam of Islam, and therefore the ulama are kuffar. This is not the justice of Islam, and it's not accepted. So we say to our brother Abu Khadeejah, Hafidhullahu ta'ala, wa ghafarallahu lana wa lahu. We say to him, be fair and be just. He wasn't the one who put that up there, from what I know. He wasn't the one. But what he did was, he wrote something on their SalafiTalk.net. And I don't advise you, brothers, to engage yourselves in that. On SalafiTalk.net, Abu Khadeejah came and he wrote, recently I read, meaning yesterday, this was last night at 1 o'clock he did this. I heard something, I heard the talk in which Abu Usamah, he was praising the people of innovation, Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq and Abdullah Sabt. And he wrote about 4 or 5 lines, and then he did the MANHAJ of blowing in the balloon, bringing a lot of cut and paste kalam about Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq. But the words were only a few. And he said, in what he wrote, that Green Lane is trying to take the thing down. I asked the brothers of Green Lane, did you brothers try to take that down? They said, no, we didn't try to take it down. So if they did or they didn't, has nothing to do with me, but they said that they didn't. I don't know why it's down now, has nothing to do with me. And the brothers who are responsible for the audios at Green Lane Masjid said it has nothing to do with them. So this prompted me to come to give this brother some advice. Abu Khadeejah, Akhi, fi Allah Azza wa Jal, there are a lot of people who have rejected a Salafiyyah and they hate a Salafiyyah because of what we do. Not just you, Abu Khadeejah, but Abu Usamah and other du'at and people with Salafi. Salafis are too rough, Salafis are too tough, Salafis are this, Salafis are that. And I'm not talking about the people who just hate Salafiyyah because they have a ta'assub. I'm talking about people who just saw bad images and bad examples of a Salafiyyah from the Salafis. We are causing these young people who've come into Salafiyyah now to be cultivated upon, grown and developed upon just hating Salafis. A person, you don't know who he is, he's on the computer. He takes a name and he's just refuting people with nasty kalam. He says nasty kalam. And anyone who wants to comment, he gives them nasty kalam. Whether it's a woman, whether it's a sheikh, no matter who it is, nasty kalam. Dua, may Allah break your back. May Allah destroy you. I hate you, I hate this. What is that? Now, don't get me wrong. There's a place for being rough and there's a place for being tough in our religion. Because people would take this kalam and say, this brother is mumayya. No. You have to be mutashaddid at the right time and you have to be easy at the right time. Now, I want to mention a few points. Point number one, ikhwani, is I was the translator. I was the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. As Sheikh Adnan Abdul Qadir, he was the one who was speaking. So don't make me responsible for his words. What I'm responsible for, any translator, is trying to render the closest translation to what that man is saying with what is known as al-amana al-ilmiya, scholastic amana. I can't change his words. I can't add, I can't subtract intentionally. I can't misconstrue. And that happens sometimes. Like our brother who's from Salafi publications, Abu Hakim, Bilal Davis, Hafidhahullah. May Allah Ta'ala give that brother good for whatever efforts he did in al-Islam. That brother tries to translate for some of the Ahl al-Ilm who come from Tulab al-Ilm and Shuyukh to SP. If you listen to his translations, many times he misses a lot of words. Many times he doesn't translate correctly. Many times he adds on. And that doesn't only happen with him. That happens with me. That happens with any and everyone who translates, because we're not professional translators. Number two, you don't know what's going on in that brother's life. Did he get sleep last night? Is he stressed out before the translation? Is a lot of pressure on him? Is his mind all there, meaning he's just tired? So it's going to affect what he puts forward. How is it that someone who hates him, Abu Hakim, going to come and say, this brother doesn't know what he's talking about? If you really believe that, then you come and you translate. Anybody can be a Monday morning quarterback. Anybody, when they're playing basketball, they can be LeBron James, they can be Michael Jordan. We always used to do that in the playground. You get the pill, you're about to shoot the pill, you say MJ, Michael Jordan. But do you have the skills of Michael Jordan? Did you put in the work of Michael Jordan? Can you really bring the noise like LeBron James? No. You're a Monday morning quarterback. You're a backseat driver. One of the reasons why our wives have a problem with driving is because the husband is there saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. Relax if you're teaching someone how to drive. It's not easy. So that brother, Abu Hakim, and every translator, for the most part, who's not professional, they're going to make mistakes. I've read in the past, people criticize my translations. Okay, for every criticizer, there's someone who praises. But I'm going to tell you, I don't know Arabic, akhi. It amazes me when people who don't know Arabic say that brother really knows Arabic. How do you know he knows Arabic if you don't know Arabic? You're not in a position, and this is why I say to you young brothers, you never know how much knowledge your sheikh has until you go sit with other shuyukh. You don't know a person's Arabic until you yourself know, and you have an idea of Arabic. So I'll tell you, I'm the first to say, I know Arabic better than some people. And some of you are some of those people I know Arabic better than. I know Arabic better than Yusuf. I know Arabic better than Anik. Brothers went to Egypt and they're learning Arabic. I know Arabic better than them, alhamdulillah. But there are many people who know Arabic better than me. So the point is, if you feel Abu Hakim, he can't translate, Abu Usamah, he can't translate, then get up and get up there and do a better job. Another issue about this particular point, ikhwani, is there's a brother who's from the Ra'us, the heads of Salafi publications. Intelligent brother, his name is Amjad Rafiq. May Allah Azza wa Jal preserve him. May Allah Azza wa Jal give him good and give his family good, and us and our families as well. He translated a book that inshallah I have hasad, ghibta, I have envy for the book that he wrote or translated. The book of Al-Imam Ahmed called Usul Sunnah. He put it in English, from Arabic to English. This book is a book that we taught in Green Lane Masjid. We taught it here. We taught it in Leicester twice. We taught that book in Masjid al-Sunnah, not Dar al-Sunnah, Shepherd's Bush, London. Masjid al-Sunnah in North London, in Tottenham, by 7 sisters, balanced Somali Salafi brothers, taking care of the community, not wasting time with qila wa qal, tanfir, running people away, addressing the issues of the shabab of London and the community, the families, and all of the things that are going on. We taught it over there. And we're about to teach the book, inshallah, for the 6th time in Kettering after Ramadan, bi-idhnillah. Our brother Amjad Rafiq from Salafi Publications. He's the cousin of Abu Khadeejah. I am not refuting him. He has nothing to do with what happened last night, but I'm making a point. He translated that book. And in the appendix, at the end of the book, he brought some of his own research in kalam. In that research, he talked about al-Iman, what it was. He brought a statement of Al-Hafiz Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, who gave the explanation of Sahih Bukhari, a scholar of al-Islam. And Al-Hafiz said that al-Iman with the Mu'tazila, it was this. Al-Iman with this group means that. He said al-Iman with Ahlul Sunnah, it means this and this and this. And he got into the issue of ikhtilaf. The actions, your salah, your zakat, your som, your recitation of the Quran, your jihad, your da'wah, your amr bil ma'ruf, your nahy anil munkar, all of your actions. Is the actions a condition for complete iman? Or is the actions a condition for the sahih of your iman? Is it this or that? It's an issue of ikhtilaf. The interpretation and the definition that he brought, Amjad Rafiq, was the interpretation that the scholars in Saudi Arabia refuted to Sheikh Adnan Abdul Qadir for. The scholars in Saudi Arabia from the Lajna, Hafidhahumullah wa Rahimullah as-Sabiqeen minhum, they refuted a Sheikh Ali al-Halabi for, and others who say, according to those ulama, the definition of al-Iman that Amjad Rafiq gave is the definition of al-Irja, the definition that the Murji'ah give for al-Iman. Now this man, he had time to research, to look at the words of a Sheikh al-Hafiz Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, Amjad Rafiq. He had time to look, and he translated that, and he put it in his book. He's not someone who's translating right on the spot. He may get some right, he may get some wrong. He had time. And yet he put in his book the definition that the ulama of Saudi Arabia made refutations against, and said that is the definition that the Murji'ah give for al-Iman. Is Abu Khadeejah and those brothers like that going to get upset with Amjad Rafiq, his cousin, and refute him and call him all of the nasty names, treachery, betrayal? No, it wouldn't be right if they did that, because it's an issue of ikhtilaf. And also, if the brother took that position, our brother Amjad Rafiq, then talk to him in a nice way of what you perceive as being the correct definition of al-Iman. And this is another issue, ikhwani, that the MANHAJ that we've seen over the years after this fitna between the Salafis in Birmingham, Salafi Publications, Troy, and other brothers who are on that way, is that there is tanaqadat, an injustice in the way that they judge, double standards. I made a mistake in the way I made the ta'bir about Abu Bakr and Umar radiyallahu anhuma. The way I put it across wasn't the best way, but what I meant was clear, and I came back and I made it even clearer. And these brothers are saying, I'm against Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, I'm against Umar radiyallahu anhu. Okay, if you have ghira and love for the companions, then when certain individuals talk about Ka'b ibn Malik, where's your ghira? You're not going to say anything because the one who made the inappropriate statement about Ka'b ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu, he's your ustad, he's your sheikh. So you're not going to say anything. Kunu qawamina bil qisti lillahi, shuhada lillah. Be fair, be just. Let your ghira be for the haqq, for tawheed, for Salafiyyah, for destroying innovation in its real sense. So be fair and be just. Another issue, ikhwani, and I'm going to bring this to your attention, and many of you may not know this, but in the early 2000s, there was a young brother from Singapore. His name was Shakil. We don't know where Shakil is. He used to be with us here in the UK. He knew Arabic, and he translated for a Sheikh Abu Usamah Salim al-Hilali al-Athari from Jordan, Hafidhahullah ta'ala. My Sheikh Abu Usamah, he's from the students of Al-Imam al-Albani. Sheikh Salim was having a problem with Sheikh Al-Walid, the father, the alim, Sheikh Rabi al-Madkhali, Shafahullah wa Hafidhahullah. They had problems between themselves. So Sheikh Salim says some things in public where this brother was translating. His name is Shakil from Singapore. He was just the translator, miskeen. After he translated and everything was said, Sheikh Salim said some things against Sheikh Rabi. After that, these brothers who are on the way of SP, these brothers who were like that, unfortunately, they slaughtered that brother Shakil. They made him do a retraction, and they wrote the retraction for him. The miskeen brother, may Allah make it easy for him. The miskeen brother, he's not like Abu Usamah, and I'm not muftakhir. But you can't blow on me and think that I'm going to run away. That's not because I'm a thug, I'm a gangster, and I'm rough and tough, and I'm bad. No. But you can't just blow on me. I'm not like the Indonesians. You step on my trainers, on my sneakers, I can't promise how I'm going to be. I hope it doesn't happen, especially if they knew. And you brothers know how many problems that I've had with the racists in this country taking that train up and down the country. If I'm with my wife, if I'm by myself, you know the nature of this society. The Chelsea fans in London, all of these fans, you go to Leicester, wherever you go, these racists see you, see your wife, and they start abusing you. I'm not turning the other cheek. I wait until they do something, it's on CCTV, and then I open up a big can. But I don't want to mention those things because I know everyone's hungry. It's Ramadan. So the point is, Shakil, they made him retract with their words. He read it, he did it, and they continue to refute him. Which goes to show, and I've had experience, you try to make islah with these brothers, you invite them, your sheikh is coming, you bring in some people of knowledge, come to Green Lane, let us come there, let's sit down. Hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiqeen. We never find the brothers ever taking advantage of it. If they really wanted islah, we're claiming a Salafiyyah. I'm coming to you saying, I'm not a Brawi, I'm not an Ikhwani. I'm a person who wants to be Salafi. And you're telling me I'm not Salafi? Okay, help me to be Salafi. Not you, but someone who's more knowledgeable than you. But do they ever do that? No. So the point here, Ikhwani, is Abu Maryam, another individual, he made some mistakes, they made him repent, they made him retract, and they kept fighting him. That's not going to happen with me, inshallah. If these brothers want that to happen with me, inshallah, that's not going to happen. And that's another sad issue. If Abu Usamah Khalifa al-Thahabi, if he were to stop translating, they wouldn't stop their kalam. If Abu Usamah Khalifa al-Thahabi were to leave Green Lane Masjid, they're not going to stop their kalam. The kalam will stop when I stop giving dawah, like our brother Shakil. Where is he? We have to be concerned. That was a Salafi brother. What happened to him? Did he leave a Salafiyyah? Or even worse, did he leave al-Islam? Abu Usamah, I can be responsible, Allahu Alam, for being the cause of making a sadd and the sabil of Allah. People reject al-Islam, reject the dawah, reject our way because of what Abu Usamah did, what he's done. May Allah Ta'ala make it easy for all of us to make tawbah from all of our sins in the past, in this month. May Allah forgive us for all of what we did, openly and hidden, major and minor. So the question is, are you waiting for me to do something like that? It's not going to happen. Hey had. Point number 2, Ikhwani, and this is really a big point. Sheikh Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq, who I did the translation for, They said that he's an innovator. Now you have to pay attention to this, especially you students. And you go back and you look at the falsehood. And this is a consistent pattern with our brothers from Salafi publications. The way they write, they put out half-truths, they misconstrue, they totally lie. Abdurrahman Abdul Khaliq, the Sheikh from Kuwait, he's originally from Egypt. Hafidhullah wa shafahullah. They brought some kalam, Abu Khadeejah, and what he wrote. You go back and you look at it. Now you go back, now mark my words when I'm telling you. When this goes out, I think they're going to take this off and they won't use it anymore. I think it's going to be taken off and they won't use it anymore. But we managed to get a copy of it. So if they take it off, we have it. He said in what he wrote last night that Abdurrahman Abdul Khaliq is a leading figure and a leading head of the Jamiat Ihya Turaf. They keep mentioning Jamiat Ihya Turaf, Jamiat Ihya Turaf. We don't have anything to do with Jamiat Ihya Turaf. We don't have anything to do with them. We don't take money from them. We don't have anything to do with them. We deal with the people from Best. Some of them used to cooperate with Jamiat Ihya Turaf, but they're putting this in the heads of many of the shabab. Why is Green Lane innovators? Because they deal with Jamiat Ihya Turaf. Okay, even if Green Lane deals with them, even if that's true, the Sheikh Abdul Muhsin Al-Abbad, he's from the great ulama of Al-Hadith in our time, from the Kibar ulama in Al-Islam in Medina right now. In his book, Rifqan Ahl Sunnah bi Ahl Sunnah, he wrote, these people are criticizing people for working with this group, Jamiat Ihya Turaf, and some of the major scholars before us worked with them. Sheikh ibn Baz, Sheikh ibn Uthaymeen. But the reality, Ikhwani, is we don't work with them. So this statement number 2, that he is the leading figure, the head of Jamiat Ihya Turaf, that's not even true. He used to be. And people from Jamiat Ihya Turaf will tell you, Sheikh Abdurrahman Abdul Khaliq is not their head anymore. Some of the people from this Jam'iyyah broke away from him and criticized him, and he's old, he's not in charge anymore. But that's give or take. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But why is the brother deceiving the people and making the people busy with this issue? Another point, Ikhwani, listen, go back and read this. Abu Khadeejah, our brother, Sallamahullah, he wanted to show how some of the scholars refuted Abdurrahman Abdul Khaliq, this sheikh. And it is a truth, it's a fact. A Sheikh Muqbil refuted him strongly. A Sheikh Rabi' refuted him strongly, and others. Abu Khadeejah, in what he wrote, he brought a Sheikh Al-Albani's kalam. Now pay attention to this. You go back and you look at the deceit. It was already deceit when it said Abu Usamah and Green Lane praises the innovators. That's deceit. But look at this big deceit, intentional. Look at this deceit, and Allah knows best. He brought some kalam in which Sheikh Muhammad Nasir ad-Din al-Albani was asked some questions. They brought the question, the Sheikh started talking. What Abu Khadeejah perceived as being important, he underlined it from the kalam of Sheikh Nasir. And then at the end of the kalam of Sheikh Nasir, it said, Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So that kalam is finished. Where Sheikh Nasir was saying that some of these people themselves, they're from the Shabab. Abdurrahman Abdul Khaliq and people like him, they're from the Shabab for what they're doing and how they're doing with the Shabab. So that was the point. Now pay attention. In the second kalam of Sheikh Nasir, someone is asking Sheikh Nasir a question, but you don't see his question. You just find the answer of a Sheikh Nasir. Pay attention. Why don't you find the question and the questioner? Because the questioner was a man by the name of Nasir al-Umar. And he was one of the Sururis. He was one of the people who was given dawah with Salman al-Auda and Safar al-Hawali. غفر الله لجميع المسلمين وهدانا الله تعالى جميعا ويحفظ الله تعالى جميعنا. So that man, Nasir al-Umar, who was on that dawah of a Sururiya, he went to meet the Sheikh Nasir and he was asking different questions. Listen to this. Abu Khadeejah, he wanted to prove that Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq was an innovator. So he brought the kalam of Sheikh Nasser. The first kalam is finished. The second kalam, it only starts with the answer of Sheikh Nasser. Listen to what Sheikh Nasser said. Listen to what Abu Khadeejah sent me. Sheikh Nasser said to this man who asked him the question, I will now give an example from our Salafi brothers. I, like you, Nasser al-Umar. Sheikh Nasser said, I, like you, state that he is not Ikhwani, but his minhaj is Ikhwani, and he is Salafi. And I do not think except that you know him well, and he is Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq. I don't know if you brothers grasp that point, but when you go back, inshallah, if you go back, you'll see this. Anyone who's listening to me now, go back to see what Abu Khadeejah wrote. He wants to prove that Abdul Khaliq Abdul Nasser is a mubtadi'. Abdullah Sabt is a mubtadi'. Abu Usamah Green Lane, we're supporting the mubtadi'. Why am I supporting the mubtadi'? So he wants to prove it with the kalam of Sheikh Nasser. The first kalam, finished. Second kalam of Sheikh Nasser is saying to Nasser al-Umar, he said, I will give an example from our Salafi brothers. I, like you, state that he is not Ikhwani, but his minhaj is Ikhwani, and he is Salafi. And I do not think except that you know him well, and he is Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq. Do you know him? And then the questioner, Nasser al-Umar, said, yes. Ikhwani, pay attention to this. In this statement of Sheikh Nasser is establishing that, in his opinion, Sheikh Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq is Salafi. He said he's not Salafi. Not only did he say he's not Salafi, not only did he say he's Salafi, he said it twice in the statement, and he negated. He said he's not Ikhwani. Something you should know about Al-Imam Al-Albani. Al-Albani is from Albania. His family took him to Syria. They made hijrah to get away from the communists who were in charge of Albania. When he arrived in Syria, he said, he went and he started learning in the Madrassah of the Arabs. He said that the Arabs used to make fun of him because he was a foreigner. He said, but he started to pass them in Arabic language. And whenever there was a question that the students didn't know, the sheikh, the ustad in the class would say, what about you, the Albani student? And Sheikh Nasser would always give the right answers for Nahu. So when Sheikh Nasser, in this statement, when he establishes he's Salafi twice, and he negates he's not Ikhwani, you're listening to the kalam of an alim who knows what he's talking about. He knows the language. He knows the strength of the formula La ilaha illallah. An-nafi wal-ithbat. La ilaha illallah. There is no God. He is not Ikhwani. Illallah. He is Salafi. He is Salafi. I'm not here to defend or to support or to prove a Sheikh Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq is Salafi or not, Ikhwani or not. But the point that I'm trying to make is, it's deceit. It's not fair. It's not correct. There are some sheikhs who said he's a mubtadi', and some sheikhs who said he's not a mubtadi'. If you ask me my opinion, I don't have an opinion. I didn't read about the issue. I felt when he got into politics and took Salafis into politics, just as is the case in Pakistan with Ahlul Hadeeth. When Ahlul Hadeeth went into politics in Pakistan, there are going to be compromises. There are going to be problems. Because you have to practice those Machiavellian principles. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, even if he's a Shiite. You have to practice those types of things. It's hard to practice al-Islam. I'm not here to say Salafi, not Salafi. It's not my issue. It's not my issue. But it was deceit on the part of our brother Abu Khadeejah. A Salafiyyah it's not in need of lying. It's not in need of tadlis. It's not in need of making things up about people. Say the truth and keep going. He said that I'm the one who was treacherous. Ramatni bida'iha thumman sallat. He accused me with the thing and then he ran off and he did the same thing. Well, where's the treachery? The treachery is making the man an innovator, because now the question that presents itself is to our brother Abu Khadeejah. May Allah Ta'ala give him basira. May Allah Ta'ala make him of those people who understand this religion. May Allah give him ikhlas. My question to that brother is, number one, Ikhwani, I asked Abu Khadeejah, did Al-Imam Al-Albani change his position and he made him mubtadi'? Because if you say yes, bring us the dalil. And if you don't know the dalil, if you don't know that he changed his position, then the least you should do is be quiet. If I translate it for Sheikh Adnan Abdul Qadir and he praised Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq, there are some scholars who felt he was Salafi. Why are you blaming us for that, making that an issue? The other issue, Ikhwani, is if Al-Albani doesn't see Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq as a deviant, why can't I translate the kalam of his student? Sheikh Adnan Abdul Khaliq is the student of Sheikh Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq. And what's wrong with the student? Pay attention, Ikhwani. What's wrong with the student? Sheikh Adnan Abdul Khaliq, who came to visit us, who comes to visit us. What's wrong with the student praising his sheikh? Because he says some nice things about Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq. But so did Al-Albani. If you go back to what Abu Khadeejah posted, it's as if he doesn't know what he posted himself. If you go back and you read what he posted, Al-Albani was praising Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq, saying he was one of my students, he was from the best students, he was from the best. Those brothers, unfortunately, will say, this is muwazanat, this is muwazanat, mentioning the good points of people of innovation. So Al-Albani fell into muwazanat. Listen, Ikhwani, Sheikh Adnan Abdul Qadir was asked, how did you become multazim? How did you start? He mentioned his Sheikh Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq, he mentioned Abdullah Sabt. Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i, Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i, the dunya knows him. When he was young, he took knowledge from a man by the name of Ibrahim ibn Abi Yahya. Write that down. Remember that. Ibrahim ibn Abi Yahya. Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i was an orphan when he was growing up, when he was young. He first started getting knowledge. One of his main sheikhs was this man. Whenever Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i wants to give a hadith that he took from this man, he won't mention his name. He'll call him by his kunya, so people won't know who he is. Why did he do that? Because this imam, this teacher, the sheikh of Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i, he was guilty of doing a lot of atrocities that the people of innovation were upon. He was a Jahmi. He was Qadri. The man was a person who used to curse the Salaf. Al-Imam Ahmed said he was a kadhab in hadith. So Al-Imam Ahmed abandoned him and didn't narrate from him. He said he was a kadhab. He cursed the companions. He had Qadariyah. And yet, Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i used to praise him. He used to praise him. It's his sheikh. Not only that, Ikhwani, but Al-Imam Al-Thahabi, if you go back to the book Sir A'lam Al-Nubala, Al-Imam Al-Thahabi called him the muhaddith, the alim, and he praised him. Does that make Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i a person who's mubtadi' because his sheikh had all of that stuff? Does that make Al-Imam Al-Thahabi a mubtadi' who falls into muwazanat, mentioning the good deeds of people of innovation when there's no need to do so? His brothers, unfortunately, due to lack of knowledge, they always are applying, many times they are applying things in the wrong way. Yes, the Ikhwan al-Muslimin and other than them, from the people of Al-Ahwa, they do mawazanat. They want to show, some of the people say Qutb, Rahimahullah, in the month of Ramadan, may Allah have mercy upon Sayyid Qutb. He said some bad things, he made some major mistakes. So in order to show his good, they say, but he did this, he did that good, he did that good. Nah, mentioning those things to try to hide the bad things, that is not the haqq, that's not justice. But does that mean every time you mention someone of innovation in the wrong way, in the right way, or something good, then it means you're doing mawazanat? That's how the brothers always are taking these things out of context. testing people by other people. What do you think about a Sheikh Rabi'? If the person says, I don't know him, they say, you're not Salafi. That may be mubalagha. What do you think about Sheikh Rabi'? Well, I don't like Sheikh Rabi'. I don't like the role that he's playing in this. You're mubtadi'. You're against the people. You're against the people of the Sunnah. They used to say, if you know a man from Khurasan and he speaks bad about Abdullah ibn Mubarak, then criticize his Islam. Is a Sheikh Rabi' like Abdullah ibn Mubarak? They'll say, Wallahi, he is doing this time. Come on. Come on. Testing the people by people, it has its place and it has its meaning. It's from the kulliyat of the deen. But the juz'iyat of the religion, the juz'iyat, can you test people based upon what he knows and how he feels about Abu Khadeejah? And his answer is negative, so he's not Salafi and he's against the people of the Sunnah. I'm saying to the brothers of Salafi publications, get knowledge and calm down and be fair and just. I don't like what you're doing. I'm not with you and I'm not on your program. Abu Usamah is against the people of the Sunnah? No, you're against the people of the Sunnah. I'm from the people of the Sunnah, inshallah. I'm a mu'min from the Sunnah, inshallah. So let's take these principles and use them the right way. Al-jarh wa ta'deel. Using this science is from al-Islam. But using it the way the ulama used it, and you brothers are using it for people, the jarh al-mufassar, the jarh that is explained and detailed, we're going to come to that, inshallah, tabarak wa ta'ala. So, Al-Imam al-Shafi'i, his teacher, Ibrahim ibn Abi Yahya, Abdullah ibn Mubarak, and Imam Sufyan al-Thawri, those imams, they said that this man had everything in him, everything. And yet, Al-Imam al-Shafi'i used to speak good about him. Why do you want to complain about what Sheikh Adnan had to say about his Sheikh, who some of the ulama feel the man was Salafi, like Al-Albani. So it's an issue of ikhtilaf. Don't you come and force people to take your opinion about a person or an issue. Lastly, ikhwani, some people of knowledge have criticized our brother Abu Khadeejah. People of knowledge have criticized Salafi publications. And they criticize them with a criticism that is mufassar, it's detailed. I don't agree with everyone who criticized them. People who said they shouldn't give dawah at all, I don't believe that. I think that is not correct. Because Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the people, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." Tell the people about me, even if it's one ayah. Everyone has the right to do that. No sheikh, no one can come and say, don't say anything about al-Islam. Don't tell your mother. Don't tell your father. Don't tell someone you meet in the street. Don't give dawah to the sunnah and other than that. You see someone making dua the wrong way, making dawah the wrong way. I get on the bus, number 8 bus today, to come here for Salatul Dhuhr. I'm on the number 8 bus. There was an Asian lady who got on the bus. She didn't have hijab on, and she was eating Doritos. Doritos. A brother who looked like he's from SP. The very short thobe, higher than Nisful Saq, higher. I'm not saying he's from SP, but he had that look. You know what I'm talking about. Higher than the Saq. He had his miswak, he had his beard. He said to the lady, what kind of Muslim are you eating in Ramadan and you're not wearing hijab? It was nasty. It was not, that's a lady. You don't know her situation. Is she on her period? Akramakumullah. Is she not on her period? The lady said, I'm not even a Muslim. So ikhwani, we want to enjoin the good with good. We want to stop the evil with good. This is what we're doing. Someone may sit there, akhi, it's not my niyyah to fight. And la, this is nasiha. Abu Khadeejah, taqillah ya akhi. These young people are coming to al-Islam, into Salafiyyah, and they're coming into this dawah hating Muslims, hating Salafi people, because these are the seeds that were planted in their hearts. And you have a group of people saying to you, I don't need you to validate my Islam and my Salafiyyah. If all of you people in the world came against me and said I'm not a Muslim, that doesn't make me a Muslim or not a Muslim, what all the people say. It's what Allah said. Wallahi. If the Lajnat al-Da'imah said that I'm not a Muslim, that doesn't make me a non-Muslim. The reality is what Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has made the reality. And the lajna is not going to say someone is not a Muslim just like that, so that the person won't run away and say, you see how he talks bad about the ulama? So now, some of the people of knowledge have criticized Abu Khadeejah specifically and other heads from SP. From them is the Sheikh Yahya al-Hujuri from Yemen, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, who is a muhaddith, and he is the naib of a Sheikh Muqbil there in the Damaj. The man has knowledge. In my opinion, he's more knowledgeable than all of the sheikhs that SP take knowledge from, except the Sheikh Rabi'. He is a muhaddith. I don't agree with everything that he says, but one thing that I can say about Yemen is that a Sheikh Muqbil in his madrassah, he never connected the people to himself and to personalities, so that whatever position a Sheikh Muqbil takes, his students have to take it. If a Sheikh Rabi' came here today and told SPA, accept Green Lane, just like that, they'll be accepted. And the dalil is, the Sheikh said, the Sheikh said. That's what we see from these brothers. They're going to say, no, we don't la wallahi, you blindly follow to that degree. 3 sheikhs, a Sheikh Rabi', a Sheikh Ubayd al-Jabri, a Sheikh Mohammadi ibn Hadi al-Madkhali. They're the main ones. They're the main ones. Anyone, whatever they say, that's what goes. In Yemen, it's not like that. Yahya al-Hujuri, a Sheikh, he's not like that. I don't agree with everything that he does. I don't agree with Damaj and everything. But they're Salafi, they are brothers. A Sheikh Yahya al-Hujuri, he said that our brother Abu Khadeejah is not qualified to be responsible for the dawah in the UK or outside of the UK. That's a jarh mufassir. Why? He said because he's not knowledgeable. He's from the awam and he needs to learn the religion. Now, I don't agree with that. The way it is in our countries, who's responsible for this masjid right now? Hartopp Road. Is it the most knowledgeable person in all of Birmingham? No. We make a ta'awun with each other. A Sheikh Abu Usamah, Wasiullah Abbas, he came to Birmingham. He sat with Abu Khadeejah and the brothers from SP. And after sitting with him all of that time, he gave them advice. And he came away from that majlis with those brothers and he criticized Abu Khadeejah as being jahil. Sheikh Wasiullah Abbas is from the Kibar Ulama. You know those brothers, they're really into, and I don't want you brothers to be about this. Where's the dalil? The Sheikh said, the Sheikh said. No, the dalil is, Allah said, His messenger. اتبعوا ما أنزل إليكم من ربكم ولا تتبعوا من دونه أولياء قليلا ما تذكرون. Follow what was revealed to you in this book and the sunnah. Don't follow the awliya. Where's the dalil? The Sheikh said, the Sheikh said. Say Allah said. The Nabi says sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's ijma. And Sheikh so-and-so is of that opinion, the Jamahir and so forth and so on. So a Sheikh Wasiullah Abbas warned him against him and said he shouldn't give dawah and he shouldn't be responsible. Ajjar mufassar. And he's from the major scholars, not from the scholars who they say are major scholars. He's from the major scholars. He gives one of the biggest classes in Mecca, in Urdu, calling to a Tawheed and a Salafiyyah and a Bid'ah and so forth and so on, killing the Bid'ah. From those people who refuted him was a Sheikh Abu Usamah Salim al-Hilali. He said Abu Khadeejah was a kadhab and he was jahil. There was a man from Yemen, a Sheikh Abu Amr Abdul Kareem. He came here and he met SP and they told him, Abu Usamah, Green Lane. They told the Sheikh Abu Amr from Yemen, Abu Usamah, Mubtadi, Hizbi, Green Lane, Mubtazi, Hizbi. And then he made a talk about me and he said I was Abu Khulama. My son's name is Usamah. Usamah, like Usamah ibn Zayd. May Allah Azza wa Jal guide him and protect him and help our children. But he called me Abu Khulama, meaning the thing that clips the nails. That's what he called me. Okay, you want to call me that? It's Ramadan. I forgive the Sheikh. If the Sheikh would have said, tell that brother to come. I would have been happy to come. To say, Sheikh, I think I'm Salafi. Sheikh Abu Amr, I think I'm Salafi. I love Sheikh Muqbil because of A, B, C, and so forth and so on. And this is my aqeedah, and so forth and so on. Help me, prove to me, show me where I'm not Salafi. And if he would have brought the dalil and the barahin, I would have said, ala al-ra's wal-ayn. But he listened to them, the thiqat. He listened to them. And based upon what they said, he made that kalam. But anyway, he came here, he met them, he went back, and now he came and he refuted SP as being people who are running the dawah for business, making the dawah for business. So the dawah is not a sandwich. The dawah is not a sandwich that you buy and you sell, you eat it, you throw it away, you discard it, you put people up, people down. Don't listen to Bilal Phillips. Don't buy his books. Why? Because you need to buy our books. Don't listen to a Sheikh Abu Abdullah, Muhammad Al-Jibali. Why? Because you have to buy our books. Don't listen to this. Don't go to that masjid, Green Lane. Why? Mubtadi, come to our masjid. Give us your sadaqah. Give us your zakat. Ya akhi. The dawah is not a business. It's not about money. It's not about money. Sheikh Yahya al-Hujuri. Someone, Abu Khadeejah, said about the Sheikh that he worked in one of the other brothers. Has nothing to do with the issue. Saying that a Sheikh Yahya al-Hujuri worked in a 2-pound shop has nothing to do with this issue. Other than to say, when that brother who said that, and it wasn't hikmah, a hakim, a person who's hakim, he would never say that a Sheikh Yahya al-Hujuri worked in a 2-pound shop and criticize him. When the Sheikh said that these brothers are using the dawah to make money, and then you turn around, it's not hakim for you to say, but he works in a 2-pound shop. Where's the proof of that? The Sheikh didn't say you can't make business, just don't use the dawah to make business. So in concluding, Ikhwani, SP, Abu Khadeejah, those brothers who were responsible over the years, many scholars have spoken about you, like some of that I mentioned, as Sheikh Abu Yasir Khalid al-Radadi. Different scholars have advised you to retract from some of your mistakes. We have not yet seen you with a consistent pattern of retraction. Make tawbah to Allah. You think only the other people are making mistakes and you're not making mistakes. There's nasiha to you, akhi. Make retractions. We're still waiting for that. Make retractions and tawbah. Lastly, Ikhwani, very quickly, 2 last points, 2 minutes. I want to advise a brother who I saw on the YouTube after looking at all of this. His kunya is Abu Mus'ab Akkari. He's originally from Lebanon. He's from America, from LA. He learned with the brother Farid Abdullah. May Allah Ta'ala preserve and protect those brothers in LA and help them to establish the dawah. I used to watch some of the videos of this brother and I said, mashallah, I didn't know him, but if you listen to what he's saying, you can see the brother is calling to Salafiyyah. He's young. As soon as you see him, he's calling to Salafiyyah. So when I saw him and I was young, I said, inshallah, this is one of the upcoming brothers who's bringing the noise, and he's going to be, inshallah, a plus for the dawah, bi-idhnillah, if he stays sincere and if he keeps the good things that he has. But because he's not with SP, he's not on that way. He even gave a talk about people should be Salafi, but not with a group that calls himself Salafiyyah. He seems to be clued up and plugged in that the MANHAJ of SP, this thing, if you're not with us, you're against us. If you don't agree with us and you don't toe the line, something's wrong with you. He seems to be clued up that that's the wrong way. So now we find brothers who are on the path of SP refuting him. So I saw yesterday that he was refuting them back. He had a clip called Haters and some other things. Akhi, I advise you, Abu Musab, utruk ha'ula'i, utruk hadha al-amal. Give advice to the brothers, but don't become mashghul with that. Don't become munshaghl with this type of refutation. It brings you down. It brings you down. Give advice and keep it moving. Keep it moving. Our brother Abu Toba, he has something to give. I don't agree with everything Abu Toba has to say. Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab. No, I don't agree with that tafsir. I didn't hear it yet, but I heard a lot of people mentioning it. So it seems to be true. I don't agree that's the way you make tafsir of the Quran, and I don't agree with other issues that the brother may have done in the past. May Allah Azza wa Jal forgive us and forgive him and help us and help him. He's in the prison, and he makes a telephone call to the community to explain his position with Dawood Adib. Dawood Adib is, by this time, supposed to be giving guidance, tawjih and irshad to the shabab of America and Canada and the UK, and not following, being tabi' in this nonsense. Dawood Adib, fi Allah akhi, you're one of the people we benefited from when we came to a Salafi in Medina. We're in Medina in our first year. Dawood Adib came late. They put him 3 levels above us, and we respected the brother. But what he's upon at the end, غير محمود. غير محمود. Abu Toba was addressing Dawood Adib, and then his calling card ran out. And the lady, the operator on the calling card said, you have 20 seconds and your calling card is going to be disconnected. When I heard that, I said, this is surreal. If a person is in prison, he should use his calling card to call his family. He should use his calling card to call his student, to give some advice. As for that kalam addressing this dawah of these brothers, so any da'i, don't waste your time with this concept. Don't waste your time with this mentality. Give your dawah and keep it moving. Whoever wants to listen, let them listen. Whoever doesn't want to listen, let them not listen. Lastly, my brothers from America in Masjid al-Rahma, you brothers just being from America, from the East Coast, and having older brothers with you. Older, I'm talking about 50, 60-year-old brothers who had their past in the Salafiyyah and in the streets. Don't be tabi'una to these people in Birmingham. Make a ta'awun al-birr wa taqwa wherever you go, brothers from America. Masjid al-Rahma, make a ta'awun as the ulama advise you. Cooperate, but do not allow yourselves to be followers of these young brothers. Abu Khadeejah is not qualified to drive the dawah in America, to be a person who you're taken from like that. That's what Sheikh Yahya al-Hujuri said. That's what Sheikh Wasiullah Abbas said. When the brother from Morocco, Abu Muhammad al-Maghrabi, غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَنَا وَلَهُ, he translated some of Sheikh Wasiullah's kalam about me. Sheikh Wasiullah said, I know Abu Usamah. Abu Usamah is Salafi. He doesn't agree with everything that the people do. Why did Sheikh Usamah, Abu Usamah Wasiullah Abbas say that? I traveled with him all over the north for 3 days. When he came here, I spent time with him. Every time I go to Mecca, I'm with him. We're doing manaqasha. We're doing discussions and so forth and so on. Abu Muhammad al-Maghrabi, he translated the kalam that Sheikh Wasiullah Abbas said about me, that I'm Salafi. Does Abu Khadeejah expect, and the brothers from Dar al-Sunnah, should Abu Muhammad al-Maghrabi say, no, Sheikh Wasiullah, I'm not going to translate that kalam? The way they're telling me I should have did that to a Sheikh Adnan Abdul Qadir. A Sheikh Saleh al-Sadlan, the doctor, the ustad, he came to Green Lane. He's bigger than any scholar who ever came to Salafi publications. He's bigger than any scholar who ever came to Salafi publications. His mansab, his position is bigger than any scholar. I'm translating for Sheikh Saleh al-Sadlan, hafidhahullah. He used a weak hadith of the Nabi. It was a weak hadith. Man la yahtam بِشُؤُونِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ فَلَيْسَ مِنْهُمْ. He used that hadith. Whoever doesn't pay attention to the affairs of the Muslims, he's not from them. The Shaykh used that hadith. I know that that hadith is da'if. And the Shaykh didn't say it's in this book or this book. He didn't say ruwiya. He didn't say qila with tamreed. He said the Nabi said. Now if he would have said it's in this book, he's not guilty. Even if it's weak, he told you where it is. Now you go and find it and you make the ruling. His dhimma, he's free from it now. He said, the Nabi said, I can't in the middle of the talk stop and say, Sheikh Saleh, the Nabi didn't say that. That's a weak hadith. And that's the kalam of the Nabi. He's saying that the Prophet said that. And the Prophet didn't say that. I can't say to the Sheikh, hey Sheikh, that's not true. Because I'm just the translator. So when Abu Muhammad al-Maghrabi, hafidhahullah, وَغَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَنَا وَلَهُ, when he translated the kalam of a Sheikh, we'll see Allah Abbas, are they going to say he's translating the kalam of the mubtadi' because they see me as a mubtadi' and he translated that kalam? No, because it's not fair. So the brothers in America, we have a unique situation there in America. I've been living here for 7 years. People from the UK are corny. This place is corny. You're not going to let somebody from Alabama in the swamps in Mississippi come up to Newark, New Jersey, and Masjid al-Rahmah, and any sheikh said, make him your imam, cooperate with him, and he's making fitna and fawda, and you're going to say, yeah, we're going to do it just because the sheikh said? No, you have to have some kind of understanding of a Salafiyyah. A Salafiyyah does not mean that you have to do everything that a particular sheikh says to you, which brings me to the point. Tahir Wyatt, the first African-American Muslim getting his PhD, and we put him out on the perimeter, based on what? He's not Salafi? Based on what? How can you not take benefit from him? Abdurrahman al-Rumaysan, may Allah Ta'ala protect him, may Allah Azza wa Jal guide us, guide him, get benefit from him. Tahir Wyatt is from your own people. The Arabs say that a people, they are always rejecting their own people. If you have someone from yourself, you don't want to hear the man who's from your own self. That is Khusranul Mubin. Our brother Muhammad Shadid, who's living in Philadelphia, from Newark, New Jersey. That brother is a beneficial brother. Brothers from America are not taking benefit from him. Why? Because he won't get in line with the tune that these people are playing. So those du'at in America who are helping to perpetuate this fitna of SP and this dawah that they're upon, ittaqullah, ittaqullah. Khwani, I'm finished. Sorry that I took this time, that the Quran was more beneficial, inshallah, for you to read than to hear this kalam, but I believe that it has to be said. Now remember the 2 points that I made. Point number 1, go back and read the deceit of Al-Albani. Al-Albani said Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq is Salafi, and you're saying he's Mubtadi'. So it's ikhtilaf. See if they keep it up or if they take it down. And the other issue, Ikhwani, is some brothers from Yemen, one brother, one kid, young brother, his kunya is Abu Fajr, Abdul Fattah, Somali. He's a young brother. Inshallah, he has a mustaqbal. He needs to calm down. He needs to calm down. Get his knowledge over there and do what he's doing, because there's a lot of knowledge. If you go to the website, Al-Ulum, they have a lot of benefit on that website. The durus of Sheikh Yahya al-Hujuri, just in Ramadan. Kitab Siyam of Sahih Bukhari. He's doing Sahih Muslim. So many things. Qiyam al-Layl, Taraweeh, so much knowledge. Anyway, those brothers in the Damaj are refuting Salafi publications left, right, and center. Salafi publications, they take a long time to respond to Damaj. They take a long time to respond to Damaj. Watch how quick they respond to Abu Usamah. And they can respond. They can respond. Because this is not a defense of Abu Usamah. This is nasiha ya akhi. This is nasiha. Ittaqullah, and stop the fawda. If you really believe people are not Salafi, then people are coming to you saying, okay, bring the Salafiyyah that you understand to us, and let's deal with it. But they won't do that. We're hoping that they will do it one day, and that they'll come to their senses, especially in the month of Ramadan. If anything was said, Ikhwani, that was right and exact, then that's from Allah Azza wa Jal, wahduhu la sharika lahu. And Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam are both free of that. Anything that was said was wrong and appropriate, wasn't accurate, then that's from me and a shaitan. And I seek refuge in Allah Ta'ala from the shaitan al-rajim. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولجميع المسلمين سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.